Hello, hi, very good evening, Arun RamaSubramanian. A very warm welcome to our podcast by Amplyft, which is called Executive Voices. So, the purpose of this podcast is where we have leaders on the platform, and often leaders are seen by their achievements. But we want to know that what are the decisions you all have taken, and what have been your experiences, which is why you all are where you all are. Every leader has a different mindset. Every leader has a lot of experiences that they can share. So the whole podcast approach is where how we can all learn from you all, from all the leaders. So with that, once again, a very warm welcome, and I would love to introduce you to our guest, where Arun RamaSubramanian. He works right now currently with Baker Tilly India. While we talk about his professional journey, he is a strategic GCC and assurance leader with 22 plus years across Big Four and global financial services. He's an expert in scaling delivery models, enhancing audit quality, and building future ready talent. Proven record of enabling client centric transformation through standardization, automation, and leadership development while partnering closely with global executive team. And currently, he is the assurance service line leader with Baker Tilly One India. That's actually very interesting, coming with more than 2 decades work of experience. Can you tell us a little bit on what is it that you exactly do?
So, my in my current role, my role is overseeing the assurance services or assurance service delivery. But it's largely in my role, it's about making sure that our global strategy and our local strategy is aligning, making sure I am aligned with respect to the global assurance strategy. So, working closely on that, and as well as our India. Talent and service delivery gets aligned, and everything is in between that. So that's where it is. So focus on people, focus on quality, and making sure that we have a enterprise which is future ready.
That is why exactly we have you on board to understand that how do you even manage the quality of your work as well as you handle people so effectively. So with that, I would like to ask you that what leadership behaviors do you consciously practice to build trust across geographies?
I think there are a couple of things which I would call out, right? I think the main thing is, I would say, if you want to build trust across geographies, I bucket it into three. One is consistency, empathy, and transparency. When you talk about consistency, I would say it's about clarity in your priorities, communication of priorities, clarity there, risks and expectations coming out there too. Cross-border teams is always, a struggle when assumptions differ, right? So alignment of ideas, alignment of vision, alignment of strategy is very important to reduce friction. The second is, I would say, is investing in relationships. Investing in relationships beyond transactions. From my experience across clients from different continents, and as well as both in India, and from the client side as well as, or from the engagement team side as well as from India, from a GCC perspective, is that the cultural intelligence is, I believe, not theoretical. It's about listening deeply, understanding the concept, and really having that empathy. So third comes is on transparency, or in transparency, I believe it's important that we honor commitments.
Okay.
Quality and timely completion of work builds long-term partnerships, and so I think that's very, very critical. Finally, I would always encourage people to respectfully challenge and the status quo, and we need to provide a safety net for our team to do that. When teams feel safe to question, the trust strengthens. Over time, I think this transform the services to offer to the strategic partners, and they start treating you as strategic partners rather than just being an execution center. So I think that's where you move up the value chain.
That sounds like a very crystal clear approach, and you covered every bit of it. And while you're saying this is your leadership vision right now, but I'm sure with your working across Big Four and other global financial services, which you've worked for over 2 decades, can you tell us that how has your leadership evolved in the last 10 years? How were you as a leader 10 years ago, and how are you the person that you are now?
Very interesting question, right? And we all evolve as people, right? So I think if you ask me, I think my fundamental is more or less same. I would say, but probably the focus has changed to some
Okay.
extent. Definitely, and that's where we grow up as individuals. In my specific case, I would say, as I evolved as a leader. Initially, I think I believe it was largely anchored on solving people's technical problems on a day-to-day basis. Uh, while technical depth still matters, but my leadership now is centered more on people, culture, strategic foresight. Scaling operations on GCC has taught me that mainly the success is not on individual brilliance. Yes, it's key individuals play a very significant role, but it is also about collective capability, solving problems, developing trust, relationship, and how you are able to solve the problems which are faced by the engagement teams and the clients. Uh, right, I know spend significant time more in aligning people to the larger purpose. Strategy for me is about now building a mindset where teams understand the client impact, they understand the business risk, they understand the requirements, and that's how value gets created. I encourage very calculative business risk taking. I encourage risk taking and have a strong faith on intuition of people. Whether it is investing in automation platforms, reshaping operating models, and growth always requires stepping beyond one's comfort zone in
Yes.
anything that you do. There is, you need to continuously challenge yourself in some way, uh, taking up anything more. So I think that's where I would say is critical. Last, I would say is its leadership is about trust.
Hmm.
I always look forward for building a culture focusing on psychological safety, inclusion, and respect for individuals for what they bring.
I like how you said that initially it was about the whole technical matter, and then your leadership shifted to the whole holistic approach where you take everything into consideration. That is
Yeah,
very interesting. Yeah, that's how you
and
add
that's how
value.
you grow as individuals, I believe, because start your focus is more on the work that is there for you on a day-to-day basis. But then as you grow, you start looking at things beyond today, and then you need to look at into future.
Right. So while you're doing this cross culture so smoothly, but when you first began to manage the cross border expectations, can you let us know that what challenges did you face?
I think one of the easiest things that come. I would say it has always been a defining experience over period, right? And what I want to highlight is the importance of disciplined time zone coordination. Uh,
Okay.
it often comes, even now it comes. People who are not used to that may face challenges, right? Your stakeholders may have a different time zone, they might have a different preference, you might have a
Correct.
different preference. I think it's important to get that aligned.
Right.
It's also equally important to have clarity in conversation, and have a shared understanding of what the quality expectations are and what the outcomes are, right? I think one of the important things I would say is to really view as equal contributors in the whole process and have that ownership that will drive value creation, anticipation of risk, and offering well considered solutions. And that effectively demonstrates your ownership as a business partner. Over time, I think this, if you start doing this, then the perceptions shift, and it becomes more partnership driven collaboration rather than uh, it becomes more partnership driven. I would say you are more equal in terms of the contribution, and they value you for the value that you bring to the table.
Right, right. I like how you said that no matter what challenges will be there, it's not that you faced them earlier, you could even face now. But I liked how you use the word ownership, that if you take the ownership, you do figure a way out, and you do bring the whole collaborative approach, and you align the goals of the stakeholders as well as yours.
And that's when you start putting yourself in their shoes, right? And
Yes.
then the solutions are not just one side. Your solutions are not one-sided, but considering the bigger picture or bigger piece of things.
That's some wise words that you've used. With that, I would like to ask you that what work across geographies taught you about communication that no textbook could ever teach you?
It's again very interesting because I think the whole piece of this business is largely hinged on effective communication,
Right,
right? I think global exposure has taught me that probably communication is less about speaking and more about listening. Uh, in diverse teams, sometimes silence can mean agreement, it can mean hesitation, it can also be culturally out of respect in some cultures, right? And leaders must interpret it very, very carefully to understand the
right.
concept. And sometimes you just learn out of practice. You might go wrong, and it's okay. You learn, and then you understand, okay, this is what the expectations are, and then you flex how you should deal in that particular situation. um, I think I also learned to ask open-ended questions to uncover unspoken concerns, and
Okay.
always be open to different ideas, right? Just be open to different ideas, different perspectives that people can bring in. And it's also about humility,
Yeah.
accepting feedback from wherever it comes, whoever may provide. They can be a junior member, it can be a very senior member. That's okay. You are in the journey, you learn new things.
Yes.
Different geographies have different ways. That probably shaped my leadership style profoundly. Probably to listen, hear feedback, and be flexible to flex yourself, adjust what you want. And that's how your leadership style also changes over a period of time.
That is very interesting. Active listening. We do teach that in a lot of our trainings, that what is active listening, because we always preempt what the problem is, and we are ready with a solution without even actually listening or understanding what is the problem.
Yeah.
So with that,
Yeah.
I would also like to relate it with mindfulness, as we
Mm-hmm.
interacted earlier. Like even
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness makes you a better listener.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I think mindfulness is probably very, very critical, right? And one of the things probably for every individual, in a GCC or even in any context, right? There are times uh, which I don't know whether to use the word stressful, but you will have work to do because of client deadlines, because of the way just the industry is. You have, especially, let's say you take a audit, right? It has seasons. It's not
Yeah.
that every day is going to be the same. There will be deadlines which are coming in. You have tax, you have consulting, everything has projects, deadlines, you will have to meet it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's very essential. I feel that discipline is very important. Discipline and reflection, self-reflection more, I would say, is very, very important. I prioritize probably structured planning to the extent possible. Many things are unstructured, you have to take it. Having a regular routine to the extent possible, be it exercise, be it having mindfulness sessions or mindfulness practices. I am a big follower as well as advocate mindfulness in everyday life for every individual and also as a leader. To anybody, and everybody is a leader in themselves, right? You need to lead yourself and your engagement.
Correct.
I
Correct.
also seek active inputs, from peers, from mentors, and listen to the feedbacks, listen to some interesting podcasts which are there, and then I always say personal growth evolve alongside professional growth. You grow as a professional, but you also definitely grow as an individual.
Right. So while you handle so much and also you work on such a large scale, you are into scaling large delivery teams. What changed in your decision making process?
I think there are multiple things, right? Again, I mean, if you look at it over a period, as I said earlier, right, my focus has shifted more from the short term. Earlier, when you started off, you looked at how to meet your every day, or that project. From that, when I started to look at things beyond, I think it started to look at much larger things, and I started to look at keeping the potential of build. How can we build efficiency? How can we build automation into the process that drives efficiency, as well as builds capability in the long term for individuals? So decisions, I would say, started factoring in sustainability and consistency around, I would say, talent, governance, robustness, to ensure that there is a good ecosystem, and how do we embrace and evolve on the technology side, right? Technology enablement. Data is highly used, so I would say data is more, I use now it more to drive to actions, identify exceptions, and as a guide to workforce planning or engagement economics. And I think then you enable respective team owners within each project, within each engagement, within each subgroup, to take decisions which are guided by the leadership direction and firm strategy, so that we are all aligned. And importantly, I embrace investing in leadership development, which is something which I am really passionate about, and also the digital tools. No one can ignore the impact what AI can create today. Yeah, right. An underlying principle, I would say, would be to stay anchored in your values and integrity, because when you are faced with choices, we need to choose what is right and sustainable in the long term. So, yeah.
Correct. So while you said that how you constantly upgrade yourself and it's all about automation, which has also changed in your decision making, I want to ask you that how do you develop your team with this rapidly changing needs and environment? Like how are the development needs assessed? Is it in terms of any trainings or any workshop that you conduct for your team members, so that they are upscaled and upgraded?
I think developing teams is very, very critical, and one of the things is having meaningful connect with them. As career advisors, or as leaders, having meaningful career conversations, so that they understand and you understand what they require, and they understand how their roles evolve as the business evolves. Right? When we stay committed on their long-term capability, and they understand that we are invested in them on their career aspirations, I think then the results are they the commitment that they give to the organization is manifold. I would also want to bring out the strong continuous feedback loop also plays a big role. When the team knows what is working, what is not working, what needs to be shifted, they adapt fast with with more confidence. And I also want to bring in the aspect that I talked earlier about backing them up, right? Backing your team up, right? And that brings in that additional confidence with them to take decisions and flex themselves, accept what needs to be done, and work towards that. I think ultimately it's the combination of clarity, investments, and open conversation and communication. I think that makes the teams resilient in times of change. But
Yeah.
eventually, you grow much stronger through it.
Yeah. And once the team and even the leader, they invest in the team members, they also feel value, they feel seen. So that just makes them very much motivated to give more to the company.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
two-way street. Once you see that the firm is investing in you, you also want to stay invested.
yeah. And I think you rightly said it's the long-term aspect that they need to see, right? Not just
Yeah.
transactional, but the investment on the long-term basis.
Yeah. Now I would like to deviate a little too in this high pressure assurance environments. For your team, how do you create a psychological safety without also compromising on the quality?
As I said, psychological safety, is very critical, and it does not actually dilute quality, but it
Mhm.
strengthens it.
Okay.
This is an essential environment for us to challenge status quo and embrace innovation. I believe encouraging teams to surface risks that they see without fear, and mistakes should not be, blame exercises, but it should be more of learning moments, and we learn out of it, we grow out of it. We should maintain high standards, and that comes with coaching. So I think that's the right balance between rigor with respect. If there should be tough rigor along with respect for individuals.
No, no, that sounds absolutely correct. I also want to ask that while you sound very anchored and grounded, so what habits and disciplines help you stay so centered and with delivering with the global expectations? Like, how do you make sure that there is personal growth and also you keep yourself so anchored?
I think couple of points which I said earlier, I can call out. I think one is making sure there is clear communication. You need to have a good communication. Second is, I think, clarity, focusing on your values. That's important. The third
Yes.
is making sure that there is investment in leadership development. You want to make sure that there is organization building, and the organization gets transformed to the next level. There
Yes.
is scope for everybody in, and that's where they see the investment coming through, which is not which is what the firm is willing to invest in them. And last, I would say, is in all these things, stay grounded. Have some good personal hygiene, in terms of whatever, be it mindfulness we talked about, be
Yeah.
it exercises or whatever. Have something to make sure, which it helps you to stay calm
Right.
in any of the
Yeah.
current
Like,
circumstances.
regardless of your work, have your own some small routine that anchors you. A small routine that you
Yes,
practice every day, regardless of your how busy your working hours are. So you ideally come back to yourself. You know that I'm Arun first,
yes,
and then this is how I start my day.
yeah.
What does success mean to you today? If you have to define success.
Success would be, I think, growth of team, growth of the firm, and delivering the best to our client. I think these three, I would say, will combine. So people and client will automatically drive every other parameter that we have of economic success or anything. The client wants the best quality at the probably
End
a
of the day,
reasonable
yes,
reason. So you have to drive economics, for which you need to have a good team to back you.
yes. Keeping the client happy, your team happy, and like so that the firm also prospers.
Yes,
It sounds easy, but it takes a lot of work and patience.
that's where our listening comes, right? Fortunately, in some of these firms, you have great people across the firm, across the globe, and you are not alone in the journey, right? You listen to the best people, you understand, and then you work along with people to make sure that you have the best strategy implemented.
That's so interesting. Um, I also heard that you also are a co-sponsor of a women leadership network. So how important is inclusive leadership in scaling sustainable organizations?
I think inclusive leadership drives innovation, I would say sustainability and respect. Uh, you know, Leading a multi-generational workforce has helped some of our teams to challenge status quo, learn leaner and efficient ways of doing things, and adopting new technologies. Respect for individuals creates stronger and more resilient organizations, is what I feel. Inclusive leadership, yes, is not just a check in the box, right? You talked about one parameter, but I believe it's about understanding and respecting every person, each person, for, irrespective of their background. Effective leadership is about leading people with diverse thinking uh, to achieve a common goal, through mutual trust, is what I feel, where each of them feel valued for the uniqueness that they bring into the table, because every one of us is unique. And I think diversity in true sense is how do we bring these diversities and use it to the strength of the firm.
Correct.
So if we can make 1 plus 1 equal to 11, that's where our the diversity really is bringing it. So I would not just see it more as a checkbox or a parametric thing, but it's about accepting in our mind how you can leverage the strengths of diversity.
Right. I like how you said that every individual is unique. So with that comes unique skill sets. And it's about using that as a strength and bringing it all together. That was very interesting. So we'll start with some quick questions, like a rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Wow. I'm not in a hot seat.
But this time we don't have any gift hampers to give. But
I have a coffee mug with some TV shows as it is. Yeah.
But it'll be still fun regardless.
Okay.
So we'll start with this or that. So you'll have to choose whether is it perfect process or agile execution.
I would go for agile execution.
Okay, I thought so. You have a very open mind. I thought so. High performer or high potential?
Very interesting. If I'm a short, probably a high performer, but I will continue to invest in high potential, because I believe you just always can't have, your team always cannot only be of high performers. Yes, you need, but you can't have everybody high performing, then it won't happen. Everybody plays some role in it, and today's best can't be tomorrow's best, probably. You can't have short-term view.
Yeah, of course. Thinking of long-term, yes, potential. That's such an interesting take. Thank you so much for sharing. Diplomacy or directness?
Again, a mix of both. You need both. You can't. It's not mutually exclusive in any situation. While diplomacy is very much required to manage interpersonal relationship,
that's true.
Directness is also needed to be built into the diplomacy. You can't be going around, but if you are many times very direct, it may also not work well. So you need to have a right combination of both.
Yes, it has to be balanced. Global standardization or local flexibility?
Again, I think it's a mix, right? You in any organization like ours, global standardization plays a very, very critical point, right? But to some extent, certain operational aspects have to be localized, and that brings in that flexibility for teams to adapt. And we talked about inclusiveness. You can't paint everybody with the same color, or the peanut butter approach, as it is called. You need to have some flexibility, because the requirements at every place may be slightly different. Yes, you can't deviate much from the standard, but there will be little bit of things that you can always move around
Right.
to
That's
give
true.
people that individual comfort.
Okay. Between talent density or team harmony?
Team harmony.
Team harmony. Structured day or a controlled chaos?
Days can never be structured. I will go for the second.
Yeah, something will just come up and it has to be a little chaotic.
Yes, it will be. I think more and more as we get experience, more and more as we mature, it will be a chaos, but we have to somehow manage to control it, or
Yeah,
do our best in what we can do.
that's true. That's true. And there's no fun if there's no chaos. You need a little chaos.
There is always, right, when you come in, you never know what you are going to do many a times, but at the end you say, oh my God, the whole day was busy.
Hmm. Okay. Tea or coffee?
I'm a tea person.
So, unlimited tea or unlimited Wi-Fi?
No. Wait, 2 or 3 cups a day.
So, unlimited Wi-Fi.
Unlimited Wi-Fi.
If you have to pick between mindfulness or workout?
Mindfulness.
You are a big fan of mindfulness.
Absolutely. If you are mindful, then workout will automatically happen. You will find time. But I believe if, I don't know, that's the other way to look at.
No,
But
very
for
well
some
said.
people, workout is mindfulness. So
Yeah,
it really depends upon your individual personality, your body, what you feel is right for your body at that point of time. I do believe, for example, I do walk or jog little bit, but that you can say as workout. But
no,
that's
but it is
something
mindfulness
for your.
also. Mindful walking,
Yeah,
mindful jogging. But I think mindfulness is the first step to everything,
yeah,
even to go
yeah.
work out or to even be in your routine.
You need
Interesting.
to start controlling how your mind behaves
Yeah.
slowly. It's not easy. Had
Yeah,
it been
yeah.
so easy, then we would not talk about it. It's very, very difficult. But even we are not, I'm not 100%. I may be just 10% there. But between 0 and 10 only you feel good. So I'm sure as we walk along that journey, it's just, it will be a
Right.
very beautiful journey.
So if I have to ask you that what tool or some technique you use to like bring yourself into the current moment and to be extremely mindful, there must be some technique that you would be using.
I got introduced to some techniques, and I would again say every individual can choose, but I do little bit of meditation, little
Okay.
breathing or pranayam, as
Yes,
little bit
breathing.
of a breath or little bit
Yes.
of basic yoga stretches, which also helps you to at least have a fair, uh, fairly flexible, or not flexible I should say, but at least healthy body.
Correct,
uh,
correct. And your awareness
and
increases the more you
awareness
practice. Your
increases.
awareness
And
increases.
then I would say go out, right? Just having some fresh air, going out, having some sunshine also helps a lot. uh,
Yes, I think the cheapest medicine.
yeah.
So now I'll switch to the next round, which is say one word for. So say
Okay.
one word for Gen Zs at workplace.
Very innovative, and very open, I would say.
Okay.
Very, very open. Yeah.
Yes.
They bring in a lot of energy.
And different energy, very different perspective.
Very different energy. Lot to learn. The confidence that they exude is fantastic.
That
I
is
mean,
true.
20, 25 years back, I would not have the confidence they had. They have today. So,
So what
very
is
good. Lot to
what
learn.
is one word that you would say to yourself 25 years ago?
Probably challenge more.
Challenge
Challenge
yourself
more.
more.
Challenge yourself more. Challenge the status quo more.
Okay. One word for leadership.
It is not easy.
Yes, that's. I'm sure we have
But
so
I
much to
think,
learn from y'all.
but I think I would say it's about I would put respect, respect for people, respect for everything that is done, and harmonizing things. I think that's very very. There is
One
no
word.
one answer.
Yes.
There is no
Continue. You're
one
saying.
answer. Sorry,
Okay.
go ahead.
No. You're saying, yeah. There's no one answer to.
There is no one direct word to say this is right or wrong. I think you need to have inclusiveness. I would say probably the
No,
word
that's
for
absolutely true.
very very
So
critical.
that's absolutely true. So one last statement before we wrap up. One word for women in leadership.
It's fabulous. I would say
Thank you.
that's how you learn. I mean, that's diversity. So every
Yes.
person, right? I would not just say a tick mark, but it's fabulous. We need to. That's where we embrace diversity. That's where we embrace diversity in thought, and you know, I would not say men or women. Everybody should be treated equally.
Yes.
Just respect everybody. I would say I wouldn't even say this person is right or wrong, right? It's just the way they are and respect.
Yes. Thank you so much. This podcast has been very enlightening. You bring a very warm and a very grounded energy. And we hope that our audience also receives it. And you shared very great thoughts and your ideologies on leadership. So we just hope that the audience will have a lot to take away from this. If you had to say one thing, one takeaway to the audience, what would that be?
Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself. See where the future is going. There is no substitute to hard work. You need to do the hard
Do the
work.
heart. Yes.
Do the hard work, and just believe that things. Believe in that if you do the hard work, things will happen. It may not happen immediately, but
It will
uh,
happen eventually.
it will happen eventually, right? Wait for the opportune moment. Things will work out.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you
trust
so much, Arun,
everybody.
for your
Trust
time.
is important.
Yes,
Yeah.
this has been a great podcast and you did it so well. Thank you for
Thank
stepping
you.
out of your comfort zone and giving us your time.
Thank you, Bhakti. You have been a wonderful host to me today. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you so
lot.
much. Thank you. If
Thank
you
you.
like
Bye.
this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Executive Voices, and stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you so much.
Bye.